Ravi feeling good about anything. But, I mean, this guy stretched out 5 months of year 2 quarterback expectations all offseason, right? The Lagways, the Sellers, the why can't it be Raiola
Manning.
And maybe we're too close to it here to appreciate Holgerson and Raiola for what it is. But if there were, and we heard the murmurs, well, they needed to do this against Cincinnati, and Coach Rhule was like, "Hey, man, 33 completions, 10 different reception, guys, like, hang in there." Then we saw last week, and then we couched it with the competition. But when you look at how he's playing and manipulating this offense, where are you kind of at with the expectation levels of what he's capable of versus what you've seen so far in his growth?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a weird offseason in which we downplayed the idea that Dylan Raiola could be a breakout quarterback this year. I mean, like how many times on this show with you guys we'd be in a discussion about, well, what do you think the strength of Nebraska's offense, or what's their best position group? And I even answered it at times where it's like it's quarterback. Like they have a guy that we think can be a stud. He wasn't last year, but he was doing something that nobody else was doing. This is the thing that kind of drove me nuts all offseason in the national quarterback conversation. Like, we want to elevate guys who haven't failed yet because we looked at Dylan Raiola and called last year a failure when he started 13 games, 11 against Power 5 or Power 4 opponents, went through it with an offensive coordinator that they changed out to a different one, with a wide receiver room that maybe wasn't the best. They turned around and added some more talent. They brought back a running back that pairs up well with them. They have an offensive coordinator that might have a better ability to get more out of them. And yet, from the national perspective, and even locally, I felt it too from some of the within the fan base, like there's just this real doubt that he could be a difference maker. And I know a game against Akron shouldn't change that, but it shows you that what's in there. And we've known all along he has special arm talent. So it shouldn't be shocking to us that when the talent gap is what it is, he should absolutely be able to go off. That was a guy who wasn't scared of Akron's coverages or their safeties or whatever they were doing. He was letting it rip in the middle of the field, and it was great to see. I just, have been somewhat dumbfounded by there's so much effort to downplay what Dylan Raiola did last year when no one else did it. No one else started 13 games as a true freshman. And there hasn't been a lot of cases of people doing that. Like, you can point to Trevor Lawrence, and that's like a 1-to-1 situation. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen.
Over 500 snaps.
Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely going to have learned a lot in that experience. And just like with McCarthy, you get a lot of firsts out of the way. You have that first road game. You have that first, OF environment like Bloomington. You have the being in the horseshoe and your team is down and you've got the ball and the opportunity to go win. Like, getting those out of the way and being able to fail and then pick yourself back up and still have a successful season in terms of overall team success, that was important for Dylan Raiola. And I think we discounted that, and we shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, we look right now at Michigan and we see how hard it is, right? It's easier to see when it's happening to somebody else.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We all think Michigan's pretty good.
I still hate how we miscategorize Underwood, so I'm trying not to get into that. If I hear
miscategorize him in what way?
This scrambling, this kind of dual threat thing. He's never been labeled as a dual threat guy. He's clearly uncomfortable running the football.
Yeah.
It's just like he wants to be a passer. Like,
it's not what he does.
It's not what he does.
But we're seeing in real time how hard it is at the power conference level to start as a true freshman right out of the gate. Like, for all the love Lagway got last year, he didn't start till midway through the year when their season was over. They were like 1-5 when he started.
It is hard. It is hard playing with expectations.
And
not he and Sellers both have it.
1-5 is just,
Arch has it. They have They have the Raiola shoulders of, be the guy.
You're the guy,
yeah.
And we need you to be the guy. Raiola had that from the jump. Lagway walks into a 1-5 room and is like, well, can't get any worse. Let's see what happens. Sellers,
and a 1-5 room with a defense that absolutely took over games against LSU and Ole Miss and allowed him to just kind of work through it. I mean, like, when we talked about DJ Lagway and there's all this credit given to beating ranked teams, it's like, yeah, I mean, he threw for 202 yards on 13 for 23 with a touchdown in there. Oh, by the way, his defense had 12 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks, forced 3 turnovers, and set him up with field position inside the 50 twice. We'll just ignore that part because we got to talk about quarterback wins like it's a real stat.
And we got to ignore the fact that Arch Manning had only thrown 90 passes in his whole life over the course of 2 years at Texas and couldn't beat out Quinn Ewers, who nobody loves. Nobody loved, right? Do you know a single person who was like, oh, yeah, Quinn Ewers, I'm super excited about that guy? Like, it made sense why Arch couldn't beat that guy.
Not since roughly like 2018, no.
Yeah, not since the first time that he went to Ohio State or whatever, right? Like, you're sitting there and you go, okay, so like maybe there's a reason that he couldn't beat out Quinn Ewers. Maybe there's a reason that it's helpful to have snaps under your belt. Like, I'm not saying these guys aren't eventually going to be good quarterbacks. That's never what I was saying. My point is, it's way harder than we give it credit for. Like, just assuming Lagway and Arch especially. I mean, Sellers at least had a bigger sample size than those guys. But it's just assuming those guys are going to turn into Heisman winners. Like, what are we talking about? And then assuming because Raiola played a whole year and actually went through some things that he's all of a sudden not that guy. He's all of a sudden Nico or DJU or one of these other 5-stars we didn't love. Like, just because he actually went through it. That's what I never understood. And I still don't understand it. I think Dylan's better than all of them. So I'm going to say that out loud.
I have nothing that I push back. I wouldn't push back against any of that in the summer. I mean, it's sort of where I've been at, and that's why I really appreciated Saturday. What I appreciated most out of Saturday, beyond just Dylan too, is it felt like a team that, like, it wasn't enough just to do something a couple times. Yep. It felt like they just wanted to leave their mark, and then you get that, leaked in air quotes halftime speech. And it kind of shows you, like, that was the mentality that they had. Like, they wanted to impress upon Akron, like, hey, you came to Lincoln. You're leaving this game, leaving from Nebraska. You played the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You're going to feel it when you're leaving the stadium. And that's the sort of performance they put together. And it was nice to see that in every phase after kind of a bumpy end of the first quarter. I wouldn't say that they played perfect the rest of the way, but they played at a high level that we just don't see a whole lot around here.
Yeah, once upon a time, we would watch games and we would see how good Nebraska was. We didn't really talk about who they played. It was just, they were dominant, or, we saw this guy or these amount of guys, or I can't wait to see this guy get his legs underneath him as a young guy. How soon, and maybe it's only after this week with Michigan coming to town, you think you could get comfortable with that, Schaefer, given the direction of how non-conference scheduling may go, where you start looking at Nebraska as a team based on their own merit and not who they're playing?
I mean, I try to only look at Nebraska as a team based on their own merit, not just who they played, because it's not, the transitive property, despite being debunked every year, we try to do it. Oh, Nebraska did this because this and that, so you're just fall into a fallacy when you start trying to weigh them against everything. And then it also leads to a lot of, goalposts moving, like, oh, I'll believe it when I see this. And then this comes around and it becomes, well, I'll really believe it when they do X. And then they do X. And it's, that's just the disease of more. And the disease of more is how you get better teams too. You don't want guys being satisfied because they beat Akron 66-0. They should be walking out of Saturday's game going, okay, we did that to Akron. Now we got an encore that we got to prove against Houston Christian at 11 a.m. We can't be sleepwalking as we start that game. We got to go prove it against these guys. And then that doesn't even matter. We got to go prove it against. So, you want that attitude within your program. I think Matt Rhule is going to have that in spades. So I don't know that that's a huge concern. For me personally, as someone who covers it and someone who just enjoys watching football, it was nice to see the depth on display. It was nice to see guys have opportunities to prove that Nebraska has a roster that feels deeper than what we're accustomed to, certainly in the lean last 10 years. But just in general, like, I mean, you have Quinn Clark making a catch and run after that was phenomenal in the second quarter. You have TJ Lateef coming in as a true freshman backup quarterback and looking very comfortable. You have Isaiah
look
Mozee.
Like he'd been playing for 4 years, right? It's like
no, and you have Isaiah Mozee, who just doesn't want his feet to ever stop moving. It was awesome seeing some of these young guys, just the offensive line. It didn't feel like there was much of a drop off when the second and third, and some of that's Akron, right? But they're still going against people. There's still guys on that Akron team who want to knock your head in, who want to win the play too. And so it all matters. And I think it was a very valuable experience that a lot of them got. And like I said, I walk away feeling better about Nebraska's depth in a lot of areas.
So, Schaefer, you walked me right up to it, so I'm going to go there. You brought up Mozee. You brought up depth. I want to go back to the running backs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you see enough from the running backs?
I'm not the one bringing it up, so you don't have to jump me.
I feel like last week got misconstrued. I wasn't angry about anything that you guys asked.
Well, you see more. I was like, I'm just telling you that the guy's talent are closer. Can I ask?
Go for it.
Do you believe now, Schaefer, that the disparity in talent from 1 to 3 is not that?
No.
Okay. You don't believe that?
And can I explain why, though?
Okay. Yeah. You should have asked.
I was trying.
Go ahead, Mike. Say.
Well,
I don't even know why
we saw what Isaiah Mozee can do in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield. We saw it with Mekhi Nelson. We saw it with Quinn Ives. All three of them made nice catches out of the backfield. I think one of the underrated great things we're seeing from Dylan Raiola, you go back to a couple years ago when Adrian Martinez, as a veteran, couldn't make this throw. It's those throws in the flats. He's putting the ball in perfect spots for a guy like Mekhi Nelson to just catch it in stride, and that makes him more dangerous. I need to see these guys do more in terms of just running the ball, just straight hands up. Like, I feel like Nebraska has a group of really good pass-catching running backs. And the thing is, I felt that before coming into the year. You can go 5 deep. You know, Kenneth Williams can absolutely catch the ball out of the backfield and be a threat for Nebraska. They don't have to get that far down there because they have Quentin Ives and they have Isaiah Mozee and they have Mekhi Nelson to do all of that. I would like to, hopefully this week, with Houston Christian, see a little bit more of just a straight running game. It still feels a little bit clunky. Quentin Ives missing that hole early in the game in the short yardage. That was pretty brutal. I mean, you really can't have that mistake when you're playing a better team, because that could be a huge difference, in winning and losing in an important game. You got your hand up. You want to be called on here?
Yes.
Yes.
So real time, I think I said it out loud and I wanted it back because my job up as an analyst isn't always to harp on what I would have done. Mm-hmm. But you could clearly see, right, if he stays just to the right,
yeah, the block for the tight end block was there.
He walks that in, but we're having this conversation like Nebraska was leaving points out there. I'm like, for me.
He missed. He just missed the
That
hole.
was a prime example of tactical versus technical.
Good call.
The play was fine.
The play worked.
Well, I thought the first 2 plays
not very good.
Walk through those last 4 plays before they turned the ball over. The throw to Ja'Cory Barney, that play was fine. The play call was fine. It should have been a touchdown.
The catchable ball. Catchable ball.
Turn the shoulder. Should have been a touchdown. The second play should have been a touchdown. I didn't love the third or the fourth play calls, but they should have already scored twice.
Yeah, they shouldn't have got to that, right? Because
I agree. 100% agree.
Because as a play caller, you're thinking, I'm
2 for 2 on it working.
Yeah. And I got nothing to show for it.
So you get outside of what he's probably telling himself, and I'm not pretending to be Holgorsen. He's probably telling you, guys, this is pretty routine. This is what I drew up for you. So now I've got to, I'm guessing that's how he's thinking.
Now I got to try something
in his head. So then what do we say? Well, I didn't love those next 2 play calls, but I think he kind of in the moment probably got outside of himself based on the results that the first 2 basic things didn't yield.
Can I ask?
I 100% agree.
I just want one thing, right? Now Dylan's all lean and mean and trim and can roll out and stuff like that. Can I just get one? Can I get one GD goal line bootleg?
Bro, he's ran for 3 first downs. I said he only needed 9 on the year. So he's a third of the way there.
That's my point, though. He can roll out a little bit now. Give me one play action naked boot on the goal line like every other team that I ever watched play football does, because that play seems to work 110% of the time.
He said lean, mean, fight.
Lean, mean, fight machine, rock.
Can I just get one of them? Can I just get one ever?
Look, I'm not opposed to that play call at all. The one thing I want here is for the dive over the pile to be put away for a while.
It's just too hard.
Let's put that one away. We don't need that one back for a while.
Agreed.
It's just too, especially for a guy that's kind of explosive like that. Let him get a running start.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't need to see the up and over.
Like, unless I'm this far from the goal line, I don't want to jump. Like, unless it's literally I can just reach over, we're done here. Like, I don't want to jump. Like, let's push a pile.
And I don't know if you guys would agree with this or not, but with, like, if you're going to run the tush push, I think I'd almost rather just a quarterback blast for Heinrich Harburg where he gets a little momentum catching the snap and then going forward, rather than being under center, having to get that, corral it, and then just getting shoved right into inertia. I'd rather have him being able to move forward with space, but that's just me personally. If we were nitpicking from Saturday,
Schaefer, I was having this conversation with Stephen Mercutio Sipple, where he's we're talking about how to watch like special teams basically, and kind of what goes on with it. And I'm one of these guys only because I coach it. It's really, really important to me. I almost never look at the actual returner. I look at kind of the, are they coming after it? How are they working the gunners? Things like that. Have you allowed yourself, when you're watching special teams from your vantage point in the box, where you can actually see and appreciate the designs and how they're actually like Ekeler just doesn't luck in the long returns because of the opponent. Like, you can see schematically how he's coaching guys and what they're doing, where you think it's portable week in, week out, where it could actually be a weapon. Are you seeing that from up where you are? Or do you watch it?
I can't tell you that I know exactly what I'm looking for in terms of how you're springing and setting up returns. I do think it's interesting that they're able to at times show or come after punts, and then they'll get a team thinking in one sort of way and then have it set up for something else entirely.
They rushed him into that low liner. I thought they were coming.
Yeah, kind of what I was sort of getting at. Like, I don't know. I can't sit here and draw you up how they're doing it exactly or what every piece is doing, but it feels like they're sort of rope-a-doping teams into doing something that they want to benefit from by showing them their hand one way, knowing that it's not going to go exactly how they want, but they're setting something up for a future punt down the line.
It kind of feels like I don't know who this question is for, or if there's even a question in here. So I don't know. You guys do with this what you will. But we're just having a conversation here, Schaefer. It kind of feels like they're mimicking what Nebraska is trying to do on defense, where they're showing a lot at the line of scrimmage and then backing out of it. And I wonder how much Ekeler's background as a defensive coach kind of has to do with that, where he's almost, like you said, he's sort of bluffing you into things and setting up looks for later. Again, I don't know if that's a question. That's just something that I thought of while you were talking.
Yeah, well, I think that's, the first thing you think of is how a team would show that they're going to be in man-to-man and that they're going to blitz, and then they're back off into a zone and hang in the areas where the quarterback's hot route might be. I mean, that's you're trying to bait that sort of action. You're doing the same thing when you're showing on punt return. You're showing a team punting the ball that you're lined in a certain way that it seems like the pressure should come from here, or that you shouldn't have X amount of people back there to be set up to block, but then you do. And you also are able to bring pressure from other areas because they're going to overload or think that you're going to come from somewhere else. So I just think it's a little cat and mouse game that Mike Ekeler can sort of play within that. And you're right. I mean, his experience as a linebackers coach, knowing sort of what that's like when you can bluff somebody into doing something, you have to stay at it, and you have to have trust. And this is a big thing that seems with Ekeler. If he's putting someone out there to play for him, it means that he explicitly trusts that you're going to do your job. And if you do your job, everybody else does their job, someone makes a play, boom, you're off to the races. But it just really comes down to trust that he can move these guys and know that they're going to do what they're supposed to do so that you can set something up for later.
And there's a handful of guys, I can think of 3 in particular, that won jobs on the roster that continually move up the depth chart on defense from the work that they do on special teams. So
isn't that the way that it should go, though? I mean, that's the idea. Like, Matt Rhule had that quote, I don't know if it was a spring, I don't know if it was a fall, about like what a winning football program looks like. And it's when you have guys that are in there for multiple years that kind of incrementally build their way through things, that when it's their opportunity, they've been game tested and tested in different ways. He was talking specifically about the offensive line. Like, ideally, you get a freshman in that redshirts as a redshirt freshman. Ideally, he's competing and getting in Akron and Houston Christian level games. And then his second or third year, he's ready to absolutely fire his gun for you. I mean, that's the same concept spoken a little bit different way of what we're talking about. Like, to get on the field for Nebraska's defense right now, they should have enough depth where you're going through special teams. Like, that's your avenue to prove, hey, I can be coached. Hey, I can do what's asked of me. Hey, I can make a play. Hey, I can do this. And then you're going to get more opportunities because of what you're doing in the coverage units to be able to go play on the field on, Saturday as second team defense, or stepping in to give a guy a breather or what have you. I mean, that is absolutely what Matt Rhule wants to do. And so if that's the route it's going, it again should make people feel better about the depth of this team. I think that's got to be the big takeaway from Saturday. Nebraska feels deeper than they have. That doesn't necessarily have to mean everything, but it certainly, when you run into injuries or personnel changes or whatever else, there's confidence about how deep you can go down the roster before you feel like the cliff is coming.
How many eyes will you have on Central Michigan playing at the same time?
At 11 a.m. on Saturday?
Yeah.
I'll have 0 eyes on it. I will not have any understanding of what has happened in the Central Michigan game until well after, probably when I'm home preparing myself for Canelo versus Crawford later in the evening. So
what's on the menu for Hudson? He seems to eat like the same 3 things.
Well, he is 18 months old. He did have what did we have yesterday? We did like a crock pot pasta that he had a Parmesan garlic chicken pasta.
Is that the one you had on IG?
I've had that on there before. Yeah, it's very good. It's a it's good. The
he's
crock
like
pot,
he's like eating in the I can see like he's in like the living room and he's just like,
oh no, that was a couple weeks ago. I think he's just eating a snack there, but
he's living his best life. Dude is just laughing.
Dude loves to eat.
Yeah, so you can tell he enjoys it.
Yeah, big time eater. But his favorite thing in the world are meatballs. Nothing has topped meatballs. He's good with chicken nuggets, but there are no meatballs. You could feed him that every day. He'd be fine.
Shay, forgive me here for not knowing anything about children. At 18 months, can they just eat whatever?
I mean,
his mouth is developed enough that he can sort of have. You're still
like they can chew and whatever.
Yeah, you're still trying to make sure that certain items are cut certain ways. Like grapes still have to be sliced in a way that
cut up the hot dogs really small. And stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Not a choking hazard, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, he can pretty much have sort of what he wants within reason, I suppose.
And you haven't found food allergies either, right?
Nothing. We haven't found anything yet. We found he doesn't like cheese much, which is concerning.
Oh wow!
Me.
Oh wow!
I don't like where that's going, but hopefully we can.
He'll grow out of that. Don't worry. He'll grow out of that.
He discovered breakfast pizza over the weekend. He loved that.
Go.
So,
let's go.
Big
breakfast pizza guy.
Good things happening in his life.
Are you doing that homemade?
The breakfast pizza? No, we just grabbed it for this weekend. We've done it before. It's a little extra work, but it's really good. I think, going the homemade pizza route, which is going to be the next kitchen appliance I buy that I don't need to buy, is a pizza oven thing for.
I'm telling you, Rotella's has ready-made dough too. It's almost like you made your own. It's a game changer.
It's good when you can control your own pizza. It makes a pizza better. I think. I want to get good at the Detroit style pizza. I like the really thick crust of that. So
if I had some discretionary income, you know what I'd get? It's similar to the pizza oven thing. I'd get the Bighorn that gets your steaks to like 1,500 degrees, and you can because
it's a super hot, like that. Yeah. You could just like build one of those in the corner of your backdoor kitchen setup or outdoor kitchen setup. Yeah, I mean that's what we need to
build anything. I struggle with Lego.
Well, not you personally, but you'd have a guy that would do it.
Yeah. He probably does have a guy. He's got a guy for everything, Schaefer.
Well, I'm aware.
Need a lot of guys. Okay, inept.
And I go, hey DB, I need a guy for this.
He's got a Rolodex. It's impressive.
Listen, do you know what you're working with? I can't do anything on my own. I need a guy.
I find it admirable because it lets me know that I can live my life in similar fashion and still hold my head high. Did I build any of the furniture in my house? No. Does it bother me at all when I'm sitting on it? Absolutely not.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't meant for me when they were still using Allen wrenches with things that they send home. And I'm like, who still uses one of these? Like, why do they put these in the packages? They're worthless.
Well, they have value. I mean, it allows you to tighten and fasten.
Yeah, for like an hour until it loosens again, because you can't get it tight enough without breaking your fingers and index finger. It's like
they want you to put your hand in harm's way for the sake of the tightness of the furniture.
No, man. You need calluses? I'm like, oh boy, on Trading Places. Never done a hard day's worth of work in my life.
See, this is the life I want to model.
Well, hey. All right, Mike J.
Schaefer, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for having me on.